Beth, and members of the committee. I am honored to testify before you today on protecting victims of human trafficking and online exploitation. My name is Sherry Lopez, and I am a human trafficking survivor and founder of the nonprofit Girl at the Mailbox, named in honor of a brave woman who rescued me from 7 years of trafficking at a mailbox. I share with you today's survivor's point of view. I grew up in a stable, two-parent home. I had just turned 15 and was trying to find my place in the world. I was an insecure and shy teen, which made me vulnerable to manipulation. I share this to shatter the preconceived notion that most children trafficked come from broken homes, are troubled, or are runaways. I was none of these. The reality is that any child can be groomed and trafficked. I met a boy in the drama club in high school, and he quickly introduced me to his father. Throughout 3 months, he groomed me and became my first trafficker. This began my 7 years of being sex trafficked. From the age of 15 to 18, I lived at home, and my parents had no idea what was happening to me, and I could not find the words to tell them that I was repeatedly being raped. This continued on the weekends and over the summer while I was in high school. There are many times I tried to stop what was happening. However, every rape had been recorded and used as blackmail to force me into submission, along with other threatening actions that were messages to me to comply. From the age of 18 until my rescue, I was flown across the United States and forced to do things I didn't want to do, but did because of fear of the consequences. And traveling on airplanes, nobody would have ever known I was a trafficking victim. Over time, my body operated on autopilot while I emotionally checked out to cope with the trauma. During my 7 years of being trafficked, I had 4 traffickers. One was a woman. See, a trafficked person has a shelf life. Once they are no longer useful to the trafficker is going to get rid of them, which could include being sold to another trafficker, such in my case, kicked out, resulting in many homeless teens, or they're going to be killed. Traffickers intentionally set out to destroy the will, heart, and soul of their victim and would not hesitate to take their life too if needed. When a victim gives up on life and their will to live is destroyed, the brain goes into self-preservation mode to keep the heart beating, even if the victim would rather die to end the abuse. Survival is in our DNA. Traffickers know this and use fear to gain and maintain control of their victim, beat down the will to live, and use the victim however it best fits the agenda of the trafficker. Human trafficker survivors are often the pawns of crimes masterminded by the traffickers and seen as throwaways who can take the blame. Many times human traffickers are labeled as domestic violence victims and inadequately represented legally, and therefore easy to convict, a box that can be checked and a person to put behind bars, while the trafficker can afford better legal representation and receive a lesser charge or accountability for their role in forcing another person to participate in what they orchestrated. And let me share with you that it took over 25 years for me to grasp even what happened to me, to be able to put a name to it, and then it was anger that another person had the right to abuse another person in such fashion that I finally had to speak up. And now you cannot keep me quiet. I found my place in legislation. Last year, with the help of Representative Gress, I was able to get the Arizona vacator law updated and signed by the governor, which gives human trafficking survivors charged with prostitution or minor criminal offenses the ability to meet with a judge and potentially get those charges set aside. Also, I participated in a group with the help of Representative Bliss, Senator Bullock, and the guidance of Representative Wynn, which was Prop 313. And it was created by the Arizona voters on the ballot, and it was passed unanimously in the state. And what this does is it allows any adult who traffics a child under 15 is convicted with the charge will spend the rest of their natural life in prison without the possibility of parole. Why is this important? Because a traffic survivor has a life sentence themselves. I will never get away from what happened to me. The life I had before is now gone. I respectfully ask that you support the Trafficking Survivors Relief Act. Doing so will give survivors hope that they can go forward and have a new life. Thank you.